At number 5, all hail Sega with the Sega Mega Drive. Vroom vroom vroom! And it was also known as Sega Genesis in the USA. Good old USA. Thank you very much for your awesome contribution. And this is what I adore about this console. It was so fast. It used the Motorola 68000 running at 7.6 megahertz. Zlog Z80 running at 3.58 megahertz. Also known in their excellent marketing terminology, blast processing, that will blast through the levels with Sonic piercing through the speed of lights, reaching through the other side, and also playing excellent arcade quality games from the home, especially Golden Axe. My favourite childhood memory is playing Golden Axe with my friends at old school. We used to bicker and argue about who's got the best character magic spells and who and who could beat the highest score on any game, especially sports games. I will give Sega credit for this one. Tom Tilinsky, the guy at USA headquarters of Sega, was a beautiful genius when he came up with the idea. Let's package Sonic the Hedgehog with the Sega Mega Drive. He should be knighted for this. He should be credited for the video game history in our video game timeline. He's the single reason he saved Sega. He's the single reason that propelled more in sales, up and up and up and up and up more. So my favourite childhood memory, it has to be seeing so many UK TV ads, seeing that cool guy who looks like the Fonz that meshed with Sega and they were in a DNA blender, and that's who he is. And I love I remember that ninja kid coming in and going like, "Hi-ya!" and trying to snatch the controller. And that's why it deserves to be at number 5 for the Sega Mega Drive. Let's go into the next one. At number 4, we have the Sony PlayStation or PS1. First 5th generation console to be ever released by Sony. And I've got to thank the father of PlayStation, Ken Kutaragi, who also designed the excellent sound chip on the Super Nintendo. And Ken Kutaragi got back at his revenge from Nintendo, because Nintendo PlayStation was originally going to be their first concept console with a partnership with Nintendo. Then Nintendo decided to turn around and screw them over because Sony were going to reap more sales from the CD unit sales of games alone. And Nintendo couldn't take it and went straight to Philips. And you know how that went with the Zelda CDI games. Cough, cough. I remember telling my friends of how super excited I was that the new console was coming out, as well with Sega Saturn and PlayStation going head-to-head in console wars. And I said to them, the Sony PlayStation is going to have an everlasting greatness in their future life. And they're still great to this day, guys. Even the next generation console, PS5, is coming out soon. So this is where it all began. And this is why I adore this console so much. I think my favourite memory will have to be, I remember seeing a PlayStation disc, a demo disc from the older days. You have to buy these magazines and you get exclusive demos of these upcoming games. And one demo disc that really scared me like crazy was a scariest snowflake that had eyeballs and a mouth. Yes, that gave me nightmares, and it still gives me nightmares to this day. Oh man, what a favourite nostalgic memory. And also on the same demo disc, it had lots of not coming titles like Twisted Metal and Warhawk and Destruction Derby. I remember playing Destruction Derby quite a lot. Basically like shoebox on shoebox action. Crashing and triangulated form of excitement and crazy madness. And also, it was from the same studio who did a lot of Amiga games, Psygnosis. And they were also on board with releasing more games, and their first launch title was an excellent Wipeout game. I remember playing that a lot, especially with listening to Chemical Brothers playing in the background. Who could forget that experience? I'll never forget it at all. And this is why it deserves to be the number 4. Thank you so much, Sony. At number 3, we have the Sony PlayStation 2, or PS2 for short. This was a huge rip-roaring success for Sony. It sold 158 million units across the world, including 55 million units in Europe territories, which is fantastic. And I have many tears of joy with this excellent console. And I'm sure many of you who have been playing lots of video games will remember this console. It is a great revelation. It was a great evolution step in terms of more hardware tinkering, and it had an excellent DVD drive to watch all your favorite movies on a disc, and it stored more game data on the same disc as well, which is a huge step up. What I like about this console is it's also compatible with all your PlayStation 1 games, including the G-Con 45 light gun from the original PlayStation. And also it had a sequel, G-Con 2, which had an awesome USB port, which created better response time to the CRT screens on your old TVs. Sony created a new CPU, the Motion Engine, or EE for short, which was a great, dynamic, awesome CPU that was a more high-end performance machine that will allow you to see the beautiful visuals piercing through the windshields of any car, or see the grass flowing in a beautiful, majestic way, or the screeching, piercing sounds of bullets and bonfire and explosions galore. It created a unique cinematic experience that I think we can all cherish in the gaming community, and this is why I think it's one of the most outstanding consoles ever made by Sony, and I will remember to this day that I love this console so much. If I had a way of making a video game museum, I would put PlayStation 2 in the front cabinet and make everyone realize that Sony was truly geniuses of our time, and we should all thank Sony for this. At number 2, guys, is the Super Nintendo that flies through the skies at the speed of sound, like Superman spoof, ha 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 ha. Yes, also known as SNES for short. Released in Japan in 1990 and rest of the world mainly 91, 92 and 93. And I still remember the powerful slogan that Nintendo projected to our beautiful minds is, "Now you're playing with power, super power." That will echo through the ages of our gaming life. What made this console truly super awesome, in my personal opinion, is Mode 7. That allowed a pseudo 3D effect to be rotated and scaled to forming an elegant 3D landscape that would be projected onto your awesome screens of your old CRTs. That could be augmented with software effects that look really impressive, especially F-Zero with the scaling of turning from left and right, or using the Star Fox FX chip that would create a 3D graphics pioneered by Argonaut Software. What made this console so beautifully brilliant was the amount of great exclusives you can get on this console, including Super Mario games. I remember playing Super Mario All-Stars, being so happy that they updated the old NES graphics to make it more 16 awesomeness, and it was just brilliant. Especially with Mario Paint, that you could be super creative and make great, simple, awesome music tracks, create your own artwork, and you can create your own animation with an awesome mouse peripheral and the mouse mat with it. It's still an amazing product to this day, and Nintendo should be proud of themselves. They are a truly innovative company. And this is where I go super happy mode. I remember playing a lot of Super Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter 2 Turbo with my old school friends back in the old backwoods. I remember my mates were trying to help me to pull off moves with Guile, doing the Sonic Kick and the Sonic Boom. It was truly a unique community gaming experience that will still be the most happiest childhood days of my life. I'm so happy. Now you can celebrate these awesome classics on your Nintendo Switch with the SNES app online service through the Nintendo Switch, releasing excellent collections through the months. And that's why it deserves to be at number 2, the Super Nintendo! Woohoo! All hail at number 1 for the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, that was released in Japan in 1983 for the Famicom, called the Family Computer, and October 18th, 1985, EU September 1st, 1986, and EU 1987. After the market crash of 1983, with the abundances of Atari bad quality control led to the demise of the video game market, and Nintendo was the salvation that saved us. that also was cleverly disguised as a toy in all toy shops, and it was a rip-roaring success. It sold so many insane amount of units. It sold 9.1 million. Japan sold 19.35 million. America 34 million, and other territories 8.56 million. This is the greatest achievement in the all video game history. We should all recognize how if we didn't get Nintendo, we would have had Xbox. If we didn't get Nintendo, we would have had PlayStation. We should all celebrate in the great origin of this console. I like the fact if you get the family computer version, it has a microphone on the joypad, which you could blow stuff away in Zelda. It's very unique and truly fun gimmick at the time. It was uniquely simple. It came in this awesome cartridge size. There was a big grey cartridge that you fit into the 72-pin connector of your console. It was notorious for malfunctioning and couldn't read the ROM cartridge properly, but the shoebox design of the elegance of the console was a beauty to be seen, and it should be in a video game museum. Again, like I said, in the Super Nintendo and all these other excellent consoles that I mentioned on my list. The CPU that was in the NES was the Rico 2A083 8-bit processor with MOS technology, 6.502 core. Beautiful and charismatic. I will name the greatest games in my personal life that I will absolutely treasure for the rest of my life. Will have to be Super Mario Bros. 3, seeing a Mario commercial on YouTube. Give me uplifting joy and happiest momentum life. It made me a better person playing Super Mario Bros. 3. Especially Cody Kondo's music just gives you a mountain or river full of tears of happiness. And having a 2-player match with my friend back in the old school, playing Double Dragon 2, The Revenge of trying to cool the console down because it was apparently overheating too much, and we were dedicated to drive on forward to beat these bad guys. And seeing one of my mates playing the excellent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, that where you played together in the co-op style, we helped each other out, beating out these foot soldiers, and they were smashing and crashing, and it was just such a brilliant time of our lives. Hearing the awesome synthesizer, so simple yet very awesome, and I love the fact they do rapid drum beats and and it got you psyched up to play these games. And what I like about the NES as well, because a lot of these NES games were very hard to complete, so you got everlasting replay value, so to make your games last even longer, even though some NES games were quite naturally short. As I mentioned in the part 2 of the countdown, you can also play these games on the NES app on the Nintendo Switch. That will get also updated, same again with monthly games installed onto your Switch, which is a really awesome nostalgia trip for everybody. And gaming companies today are still using the NES philosophy of making games simple, and it's just fantastic. And this is what I want to see in future companies to do, embrace the NES quality of life philosophy of gameplay over graphics. And this is what sells really well, and this is why it deserves to be at number 1, guys. The NES, the greatest console that ever made. Now you can celebrate video game greatness with a partnership of LEGO and Nintendo to create your own LEGO NES, which I actually done on my YouTube channel, guys. Check that out. There will be a video link above your screen. If you guys enjoyed this awesome top 10 best video game console, remember to please like, comment, and subscribe. And as Retrodude says, retro forever. And I'll see you guys in the next 8 top 10. Take care, guys.